everybody, David Michael Sanders with Arizona Dog Sports here. Welcome to our orientation video. Okay, let's get started.
Please make sure before entering, the lobby is not already full. If your dog is a barker, you may need to wait outside as a courtesy to avoid disturbing the class already in progress prior to yours. If there are other dogs in the lobby, please keep your dog by you and do not allow your dog to invade another dog's personal space. This is for safety and to avoid any possible skirmishes before the beginning of class. And please do not allow your dog to enter the floor off leash.
And once we enter, we've got cubbies over here to the left to place your belongings. I want to make sure and get everything out of the way first before we start training. And then we've got kennels along the back wall. So if it's an agility class or tri-ball class or anything where we have to help the trainers set up, we want to put our dogs in these kennels along the back wall. We also have men's and women's restrooms, drinking fountains. If your dog happens to make a mistake in here, we've got the cleanup bottle and rags and the little bucket. It's very important that you clean up after your dog immediately if they accidentally go in here, because the longer it's in here, the more likelihood another dog will go on top of it. So we always want to clean up after our dog as soon as that happens.
Okay, equipment. We're going to start with the leashes. It's very important that we have a good solid leash, the strong clip, no chewing or frayed edges where the leash could potentially rip or tear apart in class. We don't want the dogs getting away. So this is a 6-foot leather leash. This is a nylon 6-foot leash and a rope leash as well. So you just want to kind of check them out and see which one fits best for you and your dog. We just want to make sure that you test the clip compared to the collar that you have to make sure that the clip and the collar work. You don't want the ring being too little and being able to slip through the mechanism of the leash. Then we're going to start, and then we go on to the collars. We've got the flat collar here, just your normal flat collar. Then we've got your martingale. This is a chain martingale collar, so it kind of puts some pressure on your dog's neck when he pulls, but it doesn't completely asphyxiate. It fitted properly. And this is a soft martingale collar that does the same thing without the chain. If your dog still pulls, then we're going to try a no-pull harness. This is an Easy Walk and Freedom, 2 different makers. This is for medium to moderate pullers. This is for moderate to heavy pullers. If your dog still pulls, we'll move up to the Gentle Leader. This controls the dog by the muzzle, but it doesn't, inflict any pain or anything like that. But I wouldn't recommend using this on a fearful dog. You want to get the dog used to it, because sometimes they can kind of freak out when you put it on them at first. So it's very important that your dog gets used to any training tool that you're using. Then we're moving on to treat bags. It's very important that you have a treat bag for class. I don't want Ziploc bags in one hand or the treats in the pockets, because you can't access the treat quickly and you can't mark the behavior if you're fumbling for the treat and we're not prepared. So it's very important to have a nice treat bag, preferably one that opens and closes. Sometimes dogs can help themselves if we're not paying attention, so it's good to be able to close that up and remove access of the treats. And then we want to have good, nice, tasty treats for the treat bags. Here's some semi-moist treats that we have, and then we also have freeze-dried as well. So you want to find out what treats your dog loves the most and use those for the reward for training. I don't recommend using just dry kibble. If your dog gets kibble every day for free, it's going to be hard for him to want to work for it in class. So it's very important that we have the right tools, the right leash, and the right training treats for our dog.
Okay, before we enter class, it's very important that we're able to get our dog's attention. And the way that I do that is I use high-value treats. I'm not going to use their dry kibble if I'm going to take them to a training class, especially for the first time. I want something that's very tasty. We use semi-moist treats that we sell here at Arizona Dog Sports. But the way that I establish focus is I'll hand feed them at home. And then when I take them out into a foreign environment, we already have that relationship of conditioning the dog to look to me. So I'll take a treat, I'll touch it to my chin, watch me, good, and a reward for that eye contact. And I'll start moving around, follow me, second sit, and reward. Every time the dog orients to my position and offers that sit, he gets rewarded. So it's very important to be able to keep our dog's attention on us when we enter class. So that's the exercise that I do. It's called watch me or focus, whatever words you want to put to it. But it's just a treat to the dog's nose, up to my chin, eyes, and reward for eye contact. And that will help alleviate your dog's reactivity and excitement to all the other things in class.
This is a flat collar. We want to make sure that the collar is fitted high up on the dog's neck. We don't want it down too low, especially for really strong dogs. And we also want to make sure that we can fit some fingers between there, but it's not too loose. We want to make sure that every device that we're using is fitted properly. So this is a flat collar. Okay, this is a martingale collar. It's a flat collar with a little slip mechanism. So if the dog pulls or if I pull on the chain, it restricts the collar, but it doesn't choke. So you want to make sure and have the collar fitted properly so you're not choking your dog. But this is the martingale.
Okay, this is a Freedom no-pull harness. It's probably one of the better no-pull harnesses on the market. It's got some really nice fabric that goes under the arms to help reduce the likelihood of chafing and rubbing, you know, if your dog is a pretty aggressive puller. But this helps make pulling not fun, but not painful. When I move, I've got Bones' center control, like right by the breastplate, as opposed to the shoulder blades. So if I back up, he just kind of turns his body towards me without yanking him by the neck. Just like anytime he pulls, it just kind of directs him right to my leg. Good job, buddy. And if I'm out on a walk for safety, what I'll do is I will hook, see where it hooks up between his chest? This is where the leash goes for the no pull. But for safety, what I'll do is I will hook it up to the flat collar as well. So now I've got 2 points of control just in case the harness gives away or he slips out of it. I still have him. But if everything is fitted properly and we check all of our connections, we should be safe. We just always want to make sure that everything works before we take our dog into a very distracting environment where we could potentially lose them. So this is the Freedom no pull on a flat collar and a nylon leash. Okay, good job, buddy. Okay, this is the Easy Walk no pull harness. It's another manufacturer. This thing is not quite as good, in my opinion, as the Freedom, but it still works pretty well for medium to moderate pullers. Heavy pullers, this may not work, especially in a distracting environment. But if your dog is mild to medium puller, this should help alleviate some of that. And it's the same thing as the Freedom no pull. It controls the breastplate, so if I go to back up, Bones, come. Kind of swings his whole body around without controlling him from the neck. Dogs that have neck issues, you know, the short-nosed dogs work very well with this. Bones, come. You can see what's going to happen this way. If he starts to pull, it just kind of turns him around. So that way I'm not choking him, I'm not yanking him by the neck. This is a very nice, gentle way to teach your dog to not pull. Bones, come. This way. Sit. Okay, this is a gentle leader or a face collar. Some dogs can really flip out on this, so you want to get them used to it before you take them to class with it. But for a dog that really likes to pull and the no pull harness isn't working, the martingale isn't working, this is our next go-to. But you see how Bones doesn't like that on his face. So it's going to take some getting used to for your dog to be able to wear this. Some accept it right away, but a lot of them don't like it because it restricts their muzzle. And you also want to be careful if you're using this outside in the summertime. It could impede the dog's ability to breathe because it kind of squeezes their muzzle when they pull. But if I was going to work with him, what I would do is I'd back away and call him, Bones, come. Get his mind on something else other than having that collar on his face. Come, sit. Yes. Good. I just want to start moving, getting him thinking about something that he likes to do, which is working for food. Bones, come. Stop and sit. Yes. Very good. And if we're working with our dog correctly, the tools should be secondary. What's primary is them understanding what it is that we want. So we just want to be very patient, and we want to make sure that we have the right collar for our dog in class. Okay, treat bags for class are absolutely mandatory. Ziploc bags, trying to hold it with one hand and control your dog with the other is not going to work. Putting the treats in your pocket to where you're searching for them and your dog has already offered the behavior, it's not going to work because it's all about timing and being able to move smoothly with your dog. So we have to have a treat bag for class so we can access the treat and we can mark the right behavior quickly. So if I say sit, my treat's already ready to go and ready to reward him. If it was in my pocket, my timing is going to be off and the dog is going to be more confused because we're not prepared. So treat bags, absolutely essential for class. Okay, entering and exiting the facility. We want to make sure that when class is over, we don't take our dogs through the entrance because we're going to have another class coming in, and there's a convergence there where that can be problematic. So we always want to make sure and exit the facility through the right gate if you're facing the front. Stop and sit. Wait. Okay. And then we want to make sure that if our dog has to potty, we want to take him to the designated potty areas. Everything over on this side of the driveway is a no potty zone. So we really want to try and keep this area clean because it builds up and we don't want clients having to smell that when they come in through the front door. So we always want to make sure and potty our dogs along this area here, out of the way of the entrance of the facility. Okay, so that wraps up our orientation video. Thank you guys very much for watching. We just want to make sure that we potty our dogs in the right area. We have the right training equipment for our dog. We've got high value food as a motivator, our treat bag ready and handy, and we enter the facility in a very safe manner. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in class.